War with Canada? Don't laugh. Folks, I'm just a humble pundit, but even I didn't see this coming. The United States of America might be heading to war, and not with some far-off land we can't find on a map. Nope. We're talking about Canada, our friendly northern neighbor, the land of maple syrup and hockey. It sounds crazy, right? But with the current state of things, it's getting harder and harder to laugh this off as just another wacky headline. The president, in his infinite wisdom, seems to think that Canada is just itching to become the 51st state. He's slapped tariffs on their goods, threatened to redraw borders, and even joked about liberating them. Now, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure invading your biggest trading partner isn't exactly the best way to win them over. This isn't just some political pissing contest, folks. This is about real people. Families divided by an imaginary line. Communities that rely on each other for trade, tourism, and just plain old neighborly love. So before we start sending troops north of the border, maybe, just maybe, we should stop and think about the consequences. Because this ain't no Hollywood movie. This is real life, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Take Buffalo, New York, a city practically joined at the hip with Fort Erie, Ontario. They share a love for the Buffalo Bills, a disdain for winter, and a whole lot of family ties. Now imagine a wall, or worse, soldiers patrolling the Peace Bridge. That's the reality we're facing. Head east to Burlington, Vermont, a stone's throw from Quebec. They share Lake Champlain, a vibrant art scene, and a love for Ben and Jerry's, which, let's be honest, is reason enough to stay friends. But with tensions rising, those shared cones might start to taste a little bittersweet. And don't even get me started on northern New England. Places like Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. They're practically more Canadian than American, eh? Okay, maybe not. But the point is, these communities are intertwined, connected by generations of shared history, culture, and families. Trying to draw a line in the sand between these places is like trying to separate water in a lake. It just doesn't work. This ain't no Cold War, folks. We're talking about neighbors, friends, and families being torn apart. Now, Maine. Oh, Maine, land of lobster, lighthouses, and a whole lot of independent spirit. They're used to doing things their own way. They were practically their own republic for a hot minute back in the day, and trust me, they're not afraid to tell Uncle Sam to take a hike if they feel like it. Maine is full of these small, tight-knit communities. They're tucked away in the woods by the coast, living off the land. They value self-reliance, community, and a good cup of coffee. They're not exactly known for backing down from a fight, especially when it comes to protecting their way of life. Imagine trying to tell a bunch of Maine lobstermen they can't fish in Canadian waters anymore, or that their cousins across the border are now the enemy. You think they're just gonna shrug and say, okay, sure? Yeah, no. These are folks who know how to survive in the wilderness. They face down blizzards, rogue waves, and even the occasional tourist. They're not gonna be intimidated by a bunch of politicians in suits. And then there's Massachusetts, the birthplace of the American Revolution, home to Harvard, MIT, and a whole lot of folks who know a thing or two about freedom. They're not exactly known for blindly following orders, especially when those orders involve attacking their northern neighbors. Massachusetts is a liberal stronghold. They value diplomacy, dialogue, and a good latte. They're not exactly known for their love of war. In fact, they tend to be pretty vocal about their opposition to it. Imagine the protests, the marches, the sheer outrage if the government tried to mobilize troops to invade Canada. You'd have students, professors, and even some tech CEOs chaining themselves to the State House. This whole situation is not just absurd, it's downright dangerous. It's not just about Canada, it's about America, it's about what we stand for as a nation. It's about time we start acting like it.